This episode of Red Guy Entertainment Podcast is brought to you by Mega Championship Wrestling. Mega Championship Wrestling presents No Love Lost February 20th in Elyria, Ohio. And we have an amazing match announcement that you probably heard us talk about before. Derek Direction versus Joshua Singh for the Infinity title. It's going to be an amazing match. These guys are two great young up-and-coming wrestlers on this side of the United States. And it definitely has potential to be match of the night. Hello, welcome to Red Guy Entertainment Podcast.
Hello.
I, of course, am James Paradise.
I am David DeFreitas.
And we're coming at you for another little quickie.
Who doesn't like a quickie?
Quickies are always great.
Yeah.
Delving a little bit into like our personal tastes and stuff, we're going into our top favorite bands. Surely it's going to be an interesting list.
Yeah. Well, you took how many minutes ordering it?
I love music. Music's a huge part of my life, and it's so hard to narrow things down to like a top 5. So I kind of cheated a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Alrighty, so I'll let you start with your honorable mention.
my honorable mention will be a shock to people who knew me in high school. But like I said in videos past, taste change, things like that. You get older, you start liking other things. But not to say you necessarily start disliking things, or you like other things more. Well, without further ado, my honorable mention is Atreyu.
Never a fan myself.
I was kind of depressed throughout a good majority of my life.
Yeah. It happens.
Atreyu's just...
They're one of the hardcore bands.
I'll say they're like...
No, they're screamo.
They're like screamo, post-hardcore type of crap.
Yeah. Kind of like Bullet.
Kinda. Yeah, that's a good comparison. They're like Bullet for My Valentine. First song I ever heard of theirs was Right Side of the Bed. It was a great song to me. I bought their CD, The Curse, listened to that for hours on end. I own physical copies of all their material. Great band in my opinion.
Okay. My honorable mention is Bring Me the Horizon. I got into them a few years ago with the song Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake, and like I heard it on a friend's Pandora list, and I was like, that song's pretty good. And then shit between me and several friends had gone from okay to horrible, so I started kicking people out of my life, burning bridges, if you will. And I was like, okay, well, I'll send them that song. When they ask what's this, I'll remove them from my friends list. So I put it in a playlist on YouTube as songs to burn bridges to.
Well, sometimes you just gotta let people go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life.
It's the harsh truth.
My number 5, I couldn't really pick because I was so torn between them, and they're both like tied together so like
So
closely
they
in
both
my
number
life.
5?
They're both number 5.
Okay.
We have Dropkick Murphys and Less Than Jake.
Okay.
Growing up, I played a lot of skateboarding games: Tony Hawk, Street
Well-
Skater, Grind Session.
You going into that? Isn't the one song Goldfinger?
Gold, like I love Goldfinger, the song, but like that's probably the only song from that band I like.
Well, isn't Superman Goldfinger?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Like
Anyway.
there's so many things. Like there's so many bands and songs I love, but these two bands in particular I love. Dropkick Murphys is one of my favorite bands of all time. Obviously, it's on my list. Less Than Jake, great punk ska band. A lot of their stuff's featured on the Tony Hawk games, the old Street Skater game, and the arcade. If anyone remembers that, where you like got on the skateboard and like had the ollie.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool. These two bands, I started liking them for other reasons as I got older, because for some of you who know me, I was kind of a drunk. So Dropkick Murphys was there to get me hyped up. Less Than Jake was there to mellow me out. And it was an interesting dynamic on my iPod.
Alrighty. My number 5 is... It took the spot of what I had Motorhead. I was like, you know what? I don't like Motorhead as much as I like this band, which is Disturbed. Like, every one of their albums could be top 10 list of the year it came out. Definitely.
Ooh, their last entry was kind of weak.
I think you mean ooh ah. Let me correct you on that. Yeah, the last album was good. Like, what were some better albums for the year though?
True.
Like,
I'll go with that. I'll agree
and plus,
with that.
it was the Secret Return. Like, nobody knew they were brought together until the single released. So
Yeah. But like,
Kudos to them for keeping that under wraps.
granted, in my opinion, their last album was the weakest of all of their albums.
But it's still a
But
good
it's
album, I think.
it's still good.
has Sounds of Silence.
And when you crank out like 5-star albums all the time, you're bound to hit something that's not
Yeah.
exactly 5-star.
Exactly.
And then you think, oh, this album's bad because it's not as good as the other ones. But when you're
putting, like, again, you said they were putting out 5-star albums. Every one of their albums before, phenomenal.
amazing,
Yes.
like Believe is one of my favorite albums.
Believe
of all time.
and 10,000 Fists are probably my two favorites.
They are very, very good albums.
Alrighty, so.
My number 4 is Avenged Sevenfold.
Ooh. I'm sad I don't have them on my list.
Like,
Spoiler alert.
like it was, I couldn't put them in my top 3 because my top 3 are just so
They're
like
glued.
they're my top 3.
Yeah.
But Avenged Sevenfold, great band. Started listening to them a lot more after high school. During high school, a lot of like the gothy emo kids like really liked Avenged Sevenfold. And
So you got into them after they left the emo phase because they had they had vampire teeth and
Yeah.
contacts and whatnot, and then they dropped it, and then you got into them.
yeah, we're like,
kinda
okay,
funny.
like you guys are actually pretty good. And it's one of those things where it's like something so oversaturated. It's like, oh, I'm gonna hate on it. But then, like, after you're removed from that situation, you start to appreciate more because you're not
Yeah.
so influenced by everyone else and all that. Welcome to the Family, Hail the King, Coming
Yeah.
Home, even Beast and the Harlot and some of the earlier stuff, Sounding the Seventh Trumpet.
Try to remember the name of the song. Oh well, not important.
Great band, gets me hype a lot, and I just love them.
Alrighty, my number 4 is GNR. Guns N' Roses. I almost typed Gums N' Roses.
Gums N' Roses.
That would have been funny.
That sounds like an interesting date night.
Yeah, Gums N' Roses. That sounds that sounds very romantic. But yeah, got into them probably around the time, like right before or during the time Guitar Hero 3 came out. I started getting into rock music, and they were like one of the first acts I really started listening to. And my mom got me Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits CD for Christmas, and I don't think there wasn't a day where I didn't listen to it probably 10 times
That's
at least.
a very solid greatest hit CD.
Yeah, it like with exception to probably Symphony of the Devil, for the Devil, it's probably the weakest song on there. But again, saying like, all those other songs are so good that there's gonna be the worst one.
And that's a greatest hits album where like a lot of greatest hits albums will try to push like certain new hits or something like that. That album.
To be fair, they didn't have a new hit for over 10 years.
Yeah, but
especially at the time.
that greatest
I
hits
got it.
like collection, top to bottom, probably one of the greatest hits albums ever. My number 3, like 3 to 1's almost like neck and neck. Totally, they're
like
just
it's like how much like in percentages it's like 51, 49, 30 or 47 or something.
That's like over 100%.
Listen,
But
listen, I'm not a mathologist.
But number 3 is Coheed and Cambria. I love Coheed and Cambria so much. I love the whole like giant like concept of their music. I love the graphic novels that they make. I love all of their material. I know I could probably sing all the albums all the way through.
Even the most recent?
Not the most recent one. I still haven't like taken the time to sit there and really give it a good listen because it's for those of you who don't know, Coheed and Cambria do concept songs and it's all one big story. Their most recent album is not a concept album and it's just like a collection of singles, and it's a bit different from what they usually do. I mean, the sound is there, but the context of the story and all that is not. Not saying it's a bad album. I haven't fully listened to it all, but it is what it is. This is some of the greatest stuff from Coheed and Cambria. Welcome Home. Oh, everyone knows Welcome Home.
We don't need to get too far into
Yeah.
the songs.
Like
The people know.
it's just look them up. Like give them a listen.
I'll leave a description, the discography in the description.
Yeah.
My number 3, pretty sure this is the right name. I might have messed it up, but then again, with the name of the band. Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. Pretty sure that's the right. I don't know if it's Slash Miles Kennedy featuring the Conspirators or whatever. But yeah.
Them.
Yeah, them. Slash guitar, phenomenal. Miles Kennedy's voice, amazing. I love his voice. I love his voice with. I love his work with Alter Bridge. I love his work with Slash and Miles Kennedy. I love the song he did for Slash on Slash's solo album, the first one. And there's nothing I don't like by them. So yeah.
Slash is a phenomenal musician.
Yeah.
And Alter Bridge itself is a great band, so Miles Kennedy is definitely up there.
Yeah. Signature voice. Very signature.
Oh, yeah. My number 2, we're going a bit across the pond for In Flames. They're a German metal band.
I didn't know they were German.
Yep. Well, Swedish and German.
Not German. Swedish and German, two different things.
Well, I mean, they're everyone in the band's either Swedish or German. They have, for those of you who are into like black metal and things like that, they're not exactly black metal. They consider themselves melodic death metal. They have the Gothenburg sound from Gothenburg, Germany. I'm not making that up. That sounds made up, but it's not. They had some songs in Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Take This Life.
Yeah.
I think Clayman was featured in one. Some of their albums, A Sense of Purpose, Horacle, so many really, really great songs. And they kind of break the stereotype of like dark metal bands because in their entire discography, they only swear once.
Wow.
Yeah. One song, and it was a song featured in Guitar Hero World Tour.
So they edited it.
I'm like,
Okay.
Of course I would pick that song.
Yeah, of all the songs to pick. Alrighty, my number 2 is... Oh, I'm assuming you're going to expect it to be my number 1, so it's going to throw you off on who my number 1 would be. My number 2 is Metallica. So you can try and guess my number 1. But yeah, you said going against the grain in the genre. I think Metallica is like notoriously the evil thrash metal band that turned pop, if you will.
You either love them or hate them after a
Yeah.
certain point.
Yeah, and the funniest part about that is their first song of theirs I ever heard was probably the most hated song of Saint Anger. I love the song. I like the album. The album as a whole is great.
It's a great album.
But the song itself is far better than the rest of the album, I think. I love the song. It defines anger. You hear that, you want to smash stuff. You want to pound the drums as hard as Lars is.
You get it. Like,
Yeah.
you feel it.
It's you feel the emotion, and it's great. And then you go to the earliest stuff, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. The albums, not the songs. Let alone the songs are phenomenal, but the albums, eight songs each, great.
They're great.
And if we go into a future list, my favorite song of all time, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. I'm a bassist. Of course, I'm gonna love the bass solo. Like, the greatest bassist a lot. I guess I can't say a lot. The greatest bassist ever, in my opinion. Just love Metallica.
My number 1 is Metallica.
We're so good at this. It's like we're the same person.
What more
What was that song
can I
we
say? I really was a huge fan of Death Magnetic. I love
Beyond Magnetic was good too.
yeah. I love the guitar solos. I love they're just so good. Like I cannot convey in words how much I really love Metallica.
I'm gonna interrupt with another honorable mention because I see a lot. When I see Metallica, I see in this other band, Led Zeppelin. Like at the time, Led Zeppelin, you had one of the greatest bassists, one of the greatest singers, one of the greatest guitarists, one of the greatest drummers, probably the greatest drummer of all time. And with Metallica, you get it's like the new generation of that.
Yeah.
And like Lars, one of the greatest drummers. I know he gets a lot of flack for being bland, but like he's very rhythmic. Like any drummer can pick up a song just by learning his beat because it's not he doesn't deviate and make a bunch of nonsense moves. It's all fluid.
And sometimes the simplest things are some of the greatest things.
Yeah.
Like to tie this in with wrestling, look at Ricky Steamboat. Some of the best fundamentals ever.
Yeah.
Arm drag, hip toss,
His arm drag was amazing. I love it. I want to learn to do it. I want to learn to do it so bad.
Best in the business. So great fundamentals, very simple style. You could apply the same thing to Metallica with their drums. Simple yet complex. It's simple but masterful.
Yeah.
And when you throw in the guitar solos, great running bass.
Yeah.
And then you have James Hetfield.
Another signature voice.
And I can't imagine anyone else.
Interrupting story.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I had a friend argue that he didn't like Metallica, he didn't like Disturbed, and he didn't like... Oh, God, what's the name of that band? Whiskey Hangover. What's the name of that band? Godsmack. He didn't like Godsmack, Metallica, and Disturbed because they all sound exactly the same.
They do not.
They're three of the most signature voices. Completely, you cannot relate the voices to anyone else.
That's like saying...
Freeman? I don't know the Godsmack guy's name, and Hetfield have
Sully Erna.
Okay, yeah, they have three distinct voices. You hear that voice, you know exactly who it is. You don't need to be like, oh, is this that band or that band?
That's like saying Kane, Triple H, and Rey Mysterio.
Same wrestlers.
Same wrestler, same
you
style.
You can interchange all of them. The match will be exactly
do
the same.
Everything the same.
Yep. I've seen Kane do a 619. Anyway, my number one. She Wants Revenge.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, nine out of 10 people are not going to know who these guys are. These are not the most well-known musicians, but they had a debut album come out 2006. She Wants Revenge, and I heard them on Jay Leno of all places, and I was like, I'm remembering this. I'm showing all my friends this.
They have a very distinct sound,
and they are very relatable to what's the name of that band? I think it's The Cure.
I can see that
because they're like a goth dancey kind of thing, and that's like The Cure had a phase of that, and they don't like to be placed in a single genre because they don't want to be related as this act or that act. So they try. The closest thing they have to a genre is like a dance pop kind of thing.
It's like almost like an industrial techno-ish.
Kind of.
I hear a lot of people call them like rape techno because they only hear like 3 of their songs and they instantly think,
rape.
Oh, these guys are dark and rapey and creepy. But they have a lot of cute romantic things, and I don't know any band that sounds exactly like them, both in music and context of their songs.
And they're the only band I know to have a perfect 5-star rating on Google Play. And no motherfuckers better ruin this.
All 4 of ours.
They have 9 or 10 at the last time I checked, but all of them rated 5 stars. That's saying
pretty good, yeah, especially with this day and age.
Trolls. So yeah, that's
our top 5 bands, or top 7,
top 6, 7-ish.
So let us know what do you guys think? What are your top favorite bands?
Put them in the comments below.
Put them in the
comments.
comments.
Tell us how dumb we are for having whatever bands you like not on our list.
Metallica sucks because Lars and
why did you have Led Zeppelin and why not the Beatles?
There's no right or wrong answer to things like this.
These are personal favorites.
Yeah,
don't hate.
It's our opinions. You have your opinions.
We're not saying other bands are trash. Yeah. We're just saying these are our top.
These are the ones that we like the most.
Yeah.
So, let us know in the comments below what you think. I am James Paradise.
I'm David DeFreitas.
We are Red Guy Entertainment Podcast, and we will see you soon.